First field goal attempt of the game. So 2 straight games now, BJ. No Jordan Walker in the Blazer lineup. How do they respond tonight?
And it's going to be guys like we're seeing right here.
Oh, baby! Trey Jemison up and away with a hammer follow for the Blazers.
Well, I think that was your answer, Rhino.
There's the answer.
You want to know what UAB is going to do without Jordan Walker. Trey Jemison said, I'll show you.
Wow. Banks corner 3, are you kidding? Justin Buford, Shelton State JC transfer. You got to call that, partner. Off the glass for 3.
You do, but I promise you, Coach McDevitt will take it. We know Middle Tennessee is not one of the better shooting teams from deep within Conference USA, so they'll take all the 3s they can get.
Brewer steps into a 3. It's a miss for Ladarius Brewer. Another top in the UAB roster. Newcomers for Andy Kennedy. How about resounding start to the game, partner?
And I tell you what, you know when you're missing a guy like Jordan Walker, you need plays like that. But you know what? The other side of the ball, Middle Tennessee didn't call bank. Justin Buffer didn't call bank, but again, they all count the same, right, Rhino?
Wow. Here's Buffin. It's blocked. Buford with a big-time rejection. 2 snuff outs already for the very athletic Middle Tennessee strong defensive team here. DeAndre Dishman, 7th year, that's right, 7th year player for the Blue Raiders, a miss. He's been through a serious knee injury, basically cost him 2 seasons. Gaines, LSU transfer, floats and misses, coming off a 20-point game Saturday in Ruston against Louisiana Tech.
And now Eric Gaines is the guy that Coach Andy Kennedy and UAB is going to lean on heavily as we see Eli Lawrence with another bank.
The banks are open tonight in Murfreesboro, BJ.
Yeah, this is my first time visiting Murfreesboro, but the banks definitely stay open after 5 here.
What's going on here? Gaines lost it, out of control. Taken away by Weston. Here's Lawrence. We bank another one in? Sure, off the glass, but no. It's a miss. Rebound for Ladarius Brewer. ETSU transfer. He takes, floats, but no roll. Buffin has it blocked again. Wow, we are seeing athleticism around the rim here on both sides.
Absolutely. Very much so an up-and-down game so far, which favors UAB. Very physical, as Trey Jemison just bodies.
Big
DeAndre Dishman inside.
He is a mountain of a man, as you said, 6'11", 260, senior from Birmingham, and the Clemson transfer. What a force for UAB.
Yeah, and that's a tough matchup for Middle Tennessee tonight. When you look at Trey Jemison at 6'11", about 260 pounds, his primary defender is going to be DeAndre Dishman, who's only 6'6", about 220. So he's giving up 5 inches and 45 pounds under there, Rhino. There's only so much that he can do, and I promise you, as we look at Coach Andy Kennedy, he went to the big fella before the game tonight and said, I need you to dominate. I need you to show everyone in Conference USA why you are one of the better big men in this league.
5-4 career record for the guy they call AK in Birmingham, head-to-head with Middle Tennessee. Jemison misses the second. And a great run at Ole Miss, 2-time SEC Coach of the Year, and the second all-time leading scorer in UAB history. Great player for Gene Bartow in his day. Led the Blazers to a school record 27 wins in the NCAA tournament last year. Weston leaves down low, blocked again. Trey Jemison, rejection on Coleman Jones. Other way, Taven Lovin for 2 for UAB.
And Taven Lovin has really impressed me as of late. He's getting more of an opportunity with Jordan Walker out last game and now this game. But he's extremely athletic in the open court, as we saw him with the tricky, nifty right-hand finish in transition.
Weston looking for Coleman Jones down low. It's knocked out of bounds. Keep in mind, 2 games last year, head-to-head, UAB with Jordan Walker in the lineup against Middle Tennessee. He averaged 41 a game, including 40 in the semifinals of the tournament.
Yeah, that's remarkable. That's incredible. Middle Tennessee's players would tell you they wish Jordan Walker was playing tonight, but deep down in their hearts and souls, they're glad he's on the bench. I can promise you that, Ryan.
Gotta be. Leonard works off for Lawrence, who floats but can't hit with the left. Jemison a hand on it, and it comes away to Buffin. Here's Gaines. High-flying, incredible athlete. Through the lane, case in point, has his own miss, but lost the loose change. Buffin, offensive foul. KJ Buffin, Ole Miss transfer, has his first of the game.
And that's something to watch for tonight. We saw UAB get on the offensive glass right there. It's very important for Middle Tennessee to not allow too many of those plays, but you see Jared Coleman Jones sacrificing his body, forcing the charge. So, hey, listen, if Middle Tennessee can't keep UAB off the glass in the traditional way by boxing out and securing defensive rebounds, it's going to be critical that they figure out ways to not allow UAB to turn those offensive rebounds into points.
Trayvon Smith into the lineup for Middle Tennessee for the first time here. Justin Buford on bounce for Coleman Jones. That big-on-big matchup with Jemison. Fascinating to watch tonight. Weston free for three. A back iron miss. Rebound for Brewer. Offensive rebounding. Rick McDevitt, head coach Middle Tennessee, told us today it'd be so important. Second chance points. Just like that. Case in point on cue. Jemison will follow for two.
And that is so difficult to guard for Middle Tennessee, right? When Eric Gaines gets downhill, it forces Jared Coleman, as we see a tripping foul. Looks like it's either on Trey Jemison or Eric Gaines.
Going to be Jemison, partner, make that Gaines his first foul. For UAB, Jemison and the Blazers off to a good start on the road tonight in Murfreesboro. 6'11", 260, what a force down low.
Absolutely. He's so difficult to deal with inside, Rhino. This is a young man who clearly has spent a lot of time in the weight room, and he's already making his impact felt here tonight with 5 points, 3 rebounds. And when we spoke with Coach McDevitt of Middle Tennessee earlier today, he said, listen, we have got to keep this big fella off the glass. And so far, they have not done a good job of doing it. He has made his presence felt. He's in the paint doing what he does. It's going to be tough. And if you're Middle Tennessee, they're going to have to figure out a way to keep him off the glass if they want to win tonight. Rhino, 12.7 points, 11.7 rebounds in his last 3. He's feeling good. He's playing good. He's looking to continue that play.
We saw him last week in that game with Western Kentucky on our air. 10 points, 14 rebounds, another double-double. He is an incredible athlete. Double-double waiting to happen. Triple team causes a turnover. Good pressure defense led by Jemison near the sideline.
Yeah, and we saw right there, this is UAB coming out in their 1-3-1 defense. They love to do this out of timeouts. It's tough for offenses to deal with because you have a play drawn up and then you get hit with a switch defense. Very challenging for offenses to figure out how to attack that after a timeout.
Trayvon Smith Jr. in the transfer from Wabash Valley Community College picks up his first foul. Junior from Campbellsville, Kentucky. And Kennedy told us after practice yesterday, feels good about this matchup, but knows playing here is tough. The last road game for UAB before going to the American last week in Ruston against Louisiana Tech. Would like to leave Murfreesboro with a win as well here, head-to-head for the Blue Raiders. Buffin gets a roll.
No question, Rhino. They've had some good fortune here in Murfreesboro, so I'm pretty sure that Coach Andy Kennedy said, hey, can we get this on the schedule anyway next year? I know we're leaving the conference, but we can still get this game on the schedule, right?
Kind of a regional game, right?
Absolutely.
Coleman Jones, baseline, offensive foul. First on Jared Coleman Jones, the transfer from Northwestern of the Big Ten.
And Jared Coleman Jones is a guy who doesn't get a lot of time, as Coach McDevitt spoke earlier about, hey, we've got to do different things to keep these guys out of the paint and not allow them to dominate the second chance points. And he spoke of, allowing a guy like Jared Coleman Jones to get more minutes, right? To match up against Trey Jemison inside, Javion Davis off the bench for UAB. So look for number 31 of Middle Tennessee to play a lot more than he usually does tonight.
Gaines trying to go through traffic, crossover dribble. Tony into the game, first time for UAB. Brewer, that's Ty Brewer. Elbow free throw line jumper is off the mark, and Eli Lawrence tracks down the rebound. Coach McDevitt told us yesterday, you want to win the league, got to win your home games. That's a big one here tonight. Middle Tennessee with a foul there was 15-0 on its home floor last year, second best in school history. In the last 24 games, the Blue Raiders are 22-2 in this building.
Yeah, the Blue Raiders love this place. They love Murfreesboro. As we saw Cameron Weston with a tremendous drive right there. It's so important, Ronald, for those guys to make those sort of plays. As we see I think we have a technical foul here on Eric Gaines, as he might have said something unnecessary to the official.
Yes, indeed. A little too much emotion. Maybe looking for a foul on the other end when he's driving through traffic. A lot of contact and no call. So Eric Gaines, the LSU transfer, is so important now that Jordan Walker is out for a second straight game with his foot injury. Gets a T for too much talking.
Yeah, and they can't afford that tonight. They cannot afford Eric Gaines to get in any sort of foul trouble. They're already down their number 1 lead guard. They can't go down their second lead guard. But speaking with both coaches, again, they mentioned how this game gets chippy. These two teams, not very fond of each other. It's always a battle when they play, and it seems to be.
Let's see what happens here. Top of your screen. He's chatting a little bit. That's too much.
Yep, and anytime you throw the hand up, you see the way Eric Gaines kind of threw that hand up. You can't show up these officials, right? You know, pretty much every official we have in college basketball does a tremendous job. All of them do their very best to call an outstanding game, and you can't show these guys up.
For Gaines' partner, that's 2 fouls. That's big. Had the early foul in the first half, then the tee, which counts as 1. Kip Kissinger teed him up a moment ago, joined by James Lucky and Antonio Petty as the on-court officiating crew here tonight. So no Jelly Walker and now no Gaines to the bench with 2 fouls.
Yeah, so they're going to have to lean on guys like Ephraim Johnson, the freshman from Huntsville, Alabama, the Brewer brothers. Javion Davis is in right now, and I'm Middle Tennessee. I'm going to be like a shark in the water, I smell blood. It's a very good time for Middle Tennessee to attack UAB.
Great trip to the free throw line for Weston there. The technical and the fouls. Up from Johnson, freshman, only Frosh on the Blazer roster. Into the game now. Critical roles BJ talked about. Brewer up top, Ty rattles out a 3, and the rebound for Weston. JC transfer, team's 3rd leading scorer, about 9.5 a game. Coleman Jones the touch. Height advantage on Brewer. Javion Davis, transfer from Alabama, Mississippi State is in. And they're watching Weston light it up here for Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, Cameron's off to a good start here tonight. That's a nice baseline jumper, a shot he's comfortable with, because you don't want to see him settle for a lot of outside shots, right? You want to see him get downhill to the paint, as we saw earlier, or take good mid-range jumpers like he did right there.
That stops a drought of 4 minutes without a field goal for the Blue Raiders, but it's all been Cameron Weston here. Up top, Buffin thinking about a 3, delivers.
And that's one of the more
3 of the year, BJ.
Yeah, Rhino. He's one of the more underrated pieces of this UAB team. He does a lot of the dirty work, a lot of the glue guy stuff, but without Eric Gaines or Jordan Walker.
In the corner for King, thinking 3, too strong. And a rebound for Bada Johnson, as they call it. Pretty good nickname. A little sloppy there on that pass, thrown away on the sideline. And the 3rd first-half turnover for UAB without the nation's 2nd leading scorer. This is a 2nd straight game. And as we talked about, 2 games head-to-head with Middle Tennessee a year ago, averaged 41 points. The 42 points, a school record in the regular season head-to-head with the Blue Raiders.
Absolutely. And when I spoke with Jordan before the game, he mentioned, you know, man, I really wanted to be out there for this one. And I said, yeah, I bet you did want to be out there for this one. You had 40 points on them both times last season.
Mm-hmm. Coleman Jones baseline and a bounce from King has got it. Good ball movement. One more pass, perfect there from Elias King. Power 5 transfer from Mississippi State. Davis. 2 SEC schools now, Conference USA with UAB. Jump hook, baseline, not there. Coleman Jones tracks it down.
And I like the way Middle Tennessee is battling on the glass here early, Rhino. They got off to a bad start. It was 13-4, but now they're fighting on the glass. They are making it tough on UAB to get those offensive rebounds.
Rebounds for the Blazers at 14-7 in the early going, but you're right, the game has turned. The technical foul really helped Middle Tennessee get back in it, and Justice has been fantastic. Handles here, 3 to shoot. Needs help. Coleman Jones, shot clock violation. And we've got a timeout in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Magical season in the Magic City a year ago for UAB. 27 wins, most in school history, knocked off Louisiana Tech and the Dallas Metroplex in the Conference USA Championship game. 16th appearance school history. The first big dance showing since 2015 for UAB. Last year, triple overtime game, BJ, we talked about it in the semifinals. What a matchup. And Jordan Walker hit for 40 points. Weston a shot there. Very end of the game. Going to be a goaltend. And count it for Jelly. 102-98 in 3 overtimes for the Blazers. And in talking to Nick McDevitt, the head coach of Middle Tennessee, some of the players, DeAndre Dishman, today at practice, they said, yeah, we've got some revenge in our minds, no doubt, because of the heartbreaker last year.
Oh, you have to. And as a player, you know, a real competitor wants Jordan Walker out there tonight. They want him out there on the floor. They want to be able to compete against the young fellow. But you see a 10-second violation. Great job. Great job by Middle Tennessee of coming out in that diamond press up top and forcing the 10-second violation attributed to UAB not having a point guard in the game. Ephraim Johnson never plays point guard. It's either Jordan Walker or Eric Gaines. But to get back to my point of Middle Tennessee and their players' motivations, it's critical, right? You got to use anything you can to get yourself going as a player, and they have more than enough ammunition tonight.
King watched by Brewer up top and throws it away. 4 turnovers each side here, BJ. First half, as the game settles a bit after an electrifying start with Trey Jemison down low. Big point of the game is Eric Gaines, the second foul of the Tech. Now, no Jordan Walker, nation's second leading scorer, and the best player probably left. Gaines is out with the 2 fouls.
Yeah, it's so surprising. This is an opportunity for Jordan Walker to be the man. And without Jordan Walker in the game, you know, he kind of, you know, punches some holes in his opportunity to showcase what he can do. But
great point. Javion Davis and 1 here. Chance for a 3-point play for UAB. So Andy Kennedy is not going to put Gaines back in. Would you go back with him now? I mean, it's almost 11 minutes left first half here.
No, I don't think you're going to see Eric Gaines until the second half at this point, because he's so valuable to this team. He already was when they had, you know, the Conference USA Player of the Year and Jordan Walker on the floor, but he's even more prevalent to this UAB team now that they don't have Jordan Walker. So you can't risk him picking up a 3rd foul here in this first half. They're going to have to lean on Taven Levon, Ladarius Brewer, and the young fellow, the freshman, Ephraim Johnson, to shoulder most of the load without Eric Gaines in the game.
Davis does complete the 3-point play. Elias King completes a deep 3 for Middle Tennessee at the end. He went to Mississippi State, as did Javion Davis, another power conference transfer here in Conference USA. In the corner, the miss. This time from Ty Brewer. Ty and Ladarius both played together at East Tennessee State and then transferred to play for UAB and Andy Kennedy this year. The coach told us pregame, we won the portal in Conference USA. A lot of great transfers. Now it's a matter of putting it all together on the court.
Well, that's so important now within college basketball. When you look around the landscape, the transfer portal has become such an important, critical piece of so many programs that if you're not winning the portal, it's going to be hard to win during the regular season.
T. Leonard, player to watch, number 12, white jersey. 8.5 points, 4.5 rebounds a game, a high flyer, tremendous athlete. A game with a lot of rim-rocking potential today. Justin Porter to the game for Middle as well. On the baseline, take there from Millen, lost the handle. Taven Lovin trying to find it. 5th-year player for UAB, not a transfer. Been there a long time in Birmingham. Brewer's open for 3, cans it. Ladarius Brewer open, spot-up triple, UAB.
And Ladarius Brewer has been playing solid ball all season for Coach Kennedy's club. Steps into a nice rhythm jumper on that last possession. But he's a guy who looked for him to be more aggressive now that the 2 leading scorers for this UAB team are on the bench.
Porter too strong on a 3. Davis weak side rebound. Defensive glass for UAB. Ephraim Johnson with Gaines out. He's got to run the show.
Yeah, now see, if you're Middle Tennessee, they need to apply ball pressure. Ball pressure as much as they possibly can. Broken play right there leading to Javion Davis bucket, but they need to put pressure on Ephraim Johnson. See if he can handle the ball. Ladarius Brewer isn't usually in a primary ball handler position. See if he can handle the rock.
Did a good job there, high-low. Down low and an easy lay-in there for T. Leonard. Teofilo Leonard. They call him T here. In Murfreesboro, sophomore from Snyder, Texas. He is an explosive player.
And that look is always there against the 1-3-1, Rhino. That cross-court diagonal lob that you can throw is always there because in a 1-3-1, you have 4 players above the free throw line. There's only 1 player at the rim. If you got an athlete like T. Leonard going back door, put it up there for him. He'll go get it.
First Blue Raider points in the paint on the game. Davis, jump hook. No roll this time. Teofilo Leonard. High rebound again. May see some big dunks from him tonight. Miller drives and is harassed on the way to the basket there by Johnson, who picks up his first foul.
And see, now this is good, Rhino. Middle Tennessee is being more physical than they were to start the game. They're imposing their will on the offensive end and the defensive end in terms of playing strong, playing physical, trying to overpower these guys a little bit. Coach Andy Kennedy puts Trey Jemison back in the game for more strength, but these guys like Ephraim Johnson, Taven Lovin, Elias King, Eli Lawrence, they need to attack these guys, get downhill, test their chest a little bit.
Test the chest. I like that. I'm writing that one down, BJ. It's a good one. Test.
You like that?
I love those phrases,
yeah,
man.
Take that one with you.
It's great broadcast phrase. Weston. A whistle stops play. We have got a timeout in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we knew Teofilo Leonard Jr. would be a high flyer tonight, BJ.
When you got a guy like T. Leonard going back there, put it up there for him. He'll throw it down.
2-point game, Blazers on top. Star-studded showdown as historically black colleges and universities team up with CBS Sports for the second annual HBCU All-Star Game. Watch the best from around the nation compete live from Houston. Sunday, April 2nd at 4 Eastern on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+. 2-point game here in Murfreesboro. Conference USA showdown tonight. And a rematch of last year's semis in Fresno, Texas. That was wild. Triple overtime. UAB en route to the championship and going off to the NCAA tournament. I'm not going to predict triple overtime.
Yep.
But I'm thinking we're going to have a one-possession type game here.
Well, how about you go out on a limb?
You want 4? You want 5? How many overtimes you want?
Hey,
we got all night.
We got all night, man. We'll take it. We'll take 4 or 5 overtimes.
I've never called a quadruple overtime game. That'd be a first.
Maybe it's tonight.
In the corner. Maybe this is it. Back iron miss. Dishman trying to keep it alive. It's out of bounds, and UAB keeps it. Great to talk to DeAndre Dishman yesterday. The Eastern Kentucky transfer, 7th year playing college basketball. One of 7 in the nation. In year 7, injured, severe injury, went 1,000 days between games. Amazing story.
Remarkable. And to give that some perspective, as we see Taven Lovin with a tip in, that was my sophomore year, Rhino, at UCF.
Wow.
That's how long that...
Not calling you old or anything,
no,
but it is
fine.
amazing that he played that at that point, and he's still going.
It's incredible, and I'm sure he drops a lot of knowledge on his teammates having that much experience. There's literally nothing DeAndre Dishman hasn't seen in college basketball.
Right on cue, Dishman, the take, but no 2 this time. Kept alive, fresh 20. Great hustle, Lovin. Comes right into the hands of Trey Jemison. Gaines back in the game with the 2 fouls, up and away. He's challenged, and it's blocked. What a play. T. Leonard up high for the swat.
Now, this is what we came to see. All right, we got Eric Gaines, the most athletic guy for UAB, going up against T. Leonard. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. And I tell you what, I don't think there's anybody else on MTU that could block Eric Gaines' shot like that. And
man.
I don't think there's anybody else that would challenge T. Leonard at the rim like Eric Gaines did.
Oh, man.
You don't get that often in a game, Rhino, where you get the 2 most athletic guys going head-to-head.
That was fun to watch.
That was
4 blocks for the Blue Raiders here in the first half, partner. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So, Gaines in with the 2 fouls. Andy Kennedy going to roll the dice here in the backcourt. Back cut Gaines, but he can't hit it on a layup. Really good off-ball cut. Couldn't finish. Here's Weston. Operates to the other end for middle. Weston free for 3. Got it. First 3 of the game for the transfer from J.C. Ball, Southeastern Community College. Albany, Georgia. Only rebound, assist, double-double in Middle Tennessee history. So a lot of things that a lot of these guys do really well. Brewers 3 rattles out. Second chance point again, down low, Jemison for 2.
And you're going to hear it over and over again tonight. Keep UAB off of the offensive glass, right? And it's tough when DeAndre Dishman is your biggest player. It's going to take a group effort from UAB. 9-0 in second chance points tonight. UAB is destroying Middle Tennessee on the glass.
Elias King. Baseline corner 3, misfires. Here's Gaines. You like Andy Kennedy going back to Gaines with the fouls? Well, maybe so. Leonard commits the foul there. Chance for a 4-point play for Gaines.
I definitely like it when he makes plays like that, Rhino. I mean, when you put a guy back in the game, comes off a nice little handoff from the big fella and knocks it down, you gotta like it, and that's what you miss when he's not in the game UAB doesn't really have any other players that make those sort of plays, those tough, challenge, contested shots dressed out tonight.
First points of the game for Gaines. We had a nice sit down with him last week in Birmingham before the Western Kentucky game.
Yep.
And he said sometimes it is tough playing second fiddle to Jordan Walker, who scores 23 plus a game, the nation's second leading scorer. He wants more touches. Got the chance tonight, as he did Saturday in Ruston against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, and look for him to take full advantage of it. That's why you don't want to see a player of his caliber get into that sort of foul trouble. You want to see him on the floor. You want to see this young man shine and show what he can do. 4-point play, 6-0 run for UAB here. We'll see if Middle Tennessee has an answer. 10 on the timer for Weston. Watched by KJ Buffin. Here's Cam Weston to take. Buffin says no. Coleman Jones, loose change, 3 on the timer, never got to the rim. Baseline, wow! Eli Lawrence elevates, the ball stuck between the rim and the backboard. There's a lot to unpack here. There was contact at the end of the shot clock cycle. Now, it was a terrific backdoor cut right here by Eli Lawrence, but then Trey Jemison gets it and pins it between the backboard and the rim. Rhino, I am surprised the basketball did not pop.
Wow.
As hard and as much force as he pinned that ball between the rim and the glass, could have popped that basketball.
Going to have an official review for good reason here, partner. Looked like to me on that replay, great look from our crew, there was at least 1 second on the shot clock. So it's not a shot clock violation.
Nope.
If it's between the rim and the backboard, then it's a tied-up ball, and possession will go to Middle Tennessee.
Yep.
On the possession arrow, as a dead ball, could be a foul as well.
Yep.
Officials going to the video for review here.
Yeah, so Middle Tennessee most likely is going to draw up a tip play if they figure they get ball here, but I mean, I can't say enough about Trey Jemison needing that at the rim. I mean, Eli Lawrence is a 6'5" athletic guard. That is a heck of a play for him to come over and stuff this between the rim. And
Was there a foul before the ball was pinned between the rim and the backboard is the question, BJ?
Yeah, and I don't see one. Maybe Ephraim Johnson came from behind, but there we go. There you go.
And they are going to call a foul on Trey Jemison. What a sequence. We've seen some high-flying acts already. Plenty in the first roughly 15 minutes of this game tonight.
Boy, that's a tough one, Rhino, isn't it? That just looks like a good, strong physical basketball play up at the rim, didn't it?
Yes. I don't think it was a foul.
And as Trey Jemison is definitely telling Elias King, I didn't foul him, my man. I got that thing clean, but...
Lawrence to the free throw line here. First foul on Jemison.
Yep.
That's big to track as the big man for UAB is so valuable. One more free throw here for Eli Lawrence. Team's second leading score, about 12.5 a game. He's got to average about 8.5 per game, BJ, the rest of the season to get to 1,000 career points. 2 free throws, Eli Lawrence.
And now see here, Middle Tennessee's coming out in that diamond trap press. They forced some turnovers on it earlier. UAB did a good job of handling the pressure right there.
Taven Lovin passes to Coleman Jones. It's picked. Buford the other way. Here's Lawrence thinking 3-ball in transition. Too strong. And Buffin has the rebound. Ole Miss transfer, 10.5 points a game. And second behind Jemison in rebounds per game. UAB can get it done down low, too. They've run their game through Walker, but he's out tonight. Jemison had it blocked. Coleman Jones. Rejection. Return to sender.
Outstanding position by Jared Coleman Jones right here, Rhino. Gets in good position, shows the hands, gets his body on Trey Jemison. Doesn't allow him an easy look up at the rim.
Another block. This time it's Buford. Wow, we're seeing some major defense here tonight. Fun to watch. West in the handle, almost traveled. Buford right of the paint. Rattles out. Rebound for Jemison. He's had a huge first half. 7 points and 5 rebounds for the Clemson transfer. Jemison the handle, high post on Coleman Jones. Has been great tonight. Back cut, Tony! Offensive foul. No basket for the Blazers.
And now that's Jared Coleman's second charge that he's taken tonight. Done such a good job of getting his body over in the way we think of big fellas coming over, blocking shots, meeting everybody at the rim. but he's done a really nice job of getting over and sacrificing his body, allowing an extra possession for his team.
First foul, Tony of UAB. Here's King thinking three. Too strong. Long rebound. Gaines lost it. Kings got it right back for Middle Tennessee. Weston needs some help. Instead, it's an offensive foul. Really good defensive positioning, partner, on both sides tonight. First foul, Cameron Weston.
And we spoke of Trey Jemison getting his game on lately. He's been doing it. Big fella putting it up in the rim. UAB up early here in Murfreesboro. All right, to put that in perspective, they haven't lost a game since November. We are now in the middle of January.
How about that?
They are rolling down there in Boca Raton.
Tied for the third best win streak in the nation. Kansas, Purdue also have that 15-game win streak. One of 5 one-loss teams FAU is in the nation.
Yep.
Charleston, Houston, Purdue, Kansas, and FAU.
They are making my sister proud. She is an FAU
Oh,
grad.
there you go. I didn't know that.
She is making them
So
proud.
it means a lot to the family, not just UCF, right?
Absolutely.
Trey Jemison, 10 on the timer. The back end for the big guy. Too strong. And Dishman has the rebound. 7th year forward. Imagine one of the team captains here in Murfreesboro. How about Porter? Justin Porter on the weak side rebound follow for 2.
And you love that if you're Coach McDevitt, to see a guard crashing the glass, getting their own second chance points. And if you're Middle Tennessee, they're in a good spot right here. Only down 3. They've given up a ton of points in the paint, second chance. If they can clean that up at the half, they give themselves a good chance going into the second half.
Buffin tested. Guess what? Another block. Eli Lawrence this time. 7 blocks in the first half, BJ, as a team from Middle Tennessee.
And they're doing it as a unit, right? We see Eli Lawrence again throwing body, meeting KJ Buffin at the top. But he did a good job of sliding over in good position to take on KJ Buffin, because that's not easy to do.
They blocked 5 shots per game, 40 minutes. They got 7 already here, surpassing that and counting. Rejection again. Justin Porter, the take for 2. Nice move to the basket from Porter.
Once again, getting downhill, getting to the rim. That's what you love to see from Middle Tennessee. When they play this brand of basketball, they are a really good team. When they don't settle for the outside jumpers, they get to the rim, they get to the free throw line. They are really a challenge to opposing teams. So they need to continue that play.
Ephraim Johnson, top of the key. Can't click. Tipped out, though, by Jemison. Has the touch right of the paint. Deep jump hook.
And he's
Out of his range there.
settled right there. He needs to take Justin Porter and put him in the rim.
Porter, other end, tries a 3. Wow! Up high for the rebound. KJ Buffin, a lot of contact down low. And a technical has been called. Another technical. Second in the first half against UAB. Looks like KJ Buffin, who's going to pick it up. Gaines had one already. We knew this was going to be an emotional game.
Absolutely.
BJ. It's a lot goes into this with a rivalry between these 2 teams in Conference USA.
Yep. And if you're Middle Tennessee, quite frankly, this is all right. As we see DeAndre Dishman in position for the board, and KJ Buffin just flies over DeAndre Dishman's back. He really doesn't have an argument here, Rhino. I understand it's an emotional game. You know, he's getting his words out. He's getting his emotions out, his feelings. But he didn't really have a case right there. That's a classic over-the-back foul. So I'm sure Coach Andy Kennedy will go into halftime and remind his team that they need to maintain their composure and keep their poise here on the road.
Personal and a tee on Buffin. That's 3 fouls now on KJ Buffin. So Andy Kennedy's got to sit him down for the remainder of the half with $1:46 to go in the opening 20 here from the Murphy Center. And Lawrence, one more free throw on the tech. Cans that. Free throws have been great tonight. 8 of 8 for the Blue Raiders, partner from the line tonight so far.
And they need all of those little things to add up. They need free throws. They need loose balls. They need to cut down on turnovers, right? All those little things that they can do to make up for the three-point discrepancy. But KJ Buffin is still going over there on the sideline. and they need someone to put their arm around them and say, hey, man, listen, I know you were trying to get an offensive board. I know you were trying to make a winning play for our team, but we need you to calm down, settle down, and get back refocused on helping us win this game, right? And now, see, this is an opportunity where if you're Jordan Walker, even though you're not playing, you can still go talk to your teammate.
Dishman to the free throw line. He was fouled, remember, on the play by Buffett. Walker watches. Coming up, AT&T 5G at the half. Hosted by Adam Zucker, along with Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis, and Essence Carson as well. Dishman 2 free throws. The perfect night continues from the stripe for Middle Tennessee. It's a 10-0 Blue Raider run to take the lead in this game. The Blazers have missed their last 6 from the field, 2 of their last 11 in this drought, which is now about 4 minutes long. And the game has turned another technical against UAB here.
And this is not a unit that has played a lot of basketball for UAB. No Jordan Walker due to injury. Eric Gaines out with foul trouble, and KJ Buffett out with foul trouble. This unit, this 5, hasn't been on the court a lot this year, Rhino.
Foul call. Some contact toward the basket.
And I believe Justin Buffett took the brunt of that foul. He's grabbing his chin.
Yeah, Buford was hurt there, and he committed the foul.
Now, that's the worst, though, Rhino. I must say, when you get called for a foul, but you took the most of the pain, that is it's not a good feeling, you know.
Never.
It's one thing to
adding insult to injury.
Yeah, it's one thing when you get the foul called, and then you take the pain. It's okay.
One more free throw here coming up for Ty Brewer, the older brother of Ladarius Brewer, both transferred in together from East Tennessee State, both 1,000+ career points in their careers. They started at different schools, went to ETSU together, UAB together in the portal in the offseason for Andy Kennedy. Lots of movement in college basketball.
Absolutely.
Hard to keep track.
That's the landscape. That's the landscape.
Smith a miss. Brewer has the rebound with 1:15 now to go. And our first half, back and forth game. Lots of emotion, high-flying energy tonight from the Murphy Center. Johnson for Davis. High post touch. Pump fake. Foul. Coleman Jones.
Really nice patience right there by Javion Davis inside after he received that post feed pass. Jared Coleman Jones, has done a good job tonight in his post defense, but Javion Davis threw him a nice ball fake right there, got the big fella up in the air, went straight up through his arms, because as that possession went on, Ephraim Johnson, Taven Levon, they were kind of looking around like, okay, who's going to shoot the ball right now, you know?
Davis free throw. That's 2 fouls on Coleman Jones. We talked about this, BJ, a moment ago. Transfer portal for UAB was critical in the offseason. Look at what they gained. The guys that have been with the team, and a lot of points prior as well. Tyler Bertram, a really good three-point shooter from Binghamton, is on the roster as well.
A lot of high major transfers on this UAB team. A lot of guys that have come from big schools and played in some big-time basketball games here at UAB.
Less than a minute first half. That's kicked by Brewer. 48.1 to go in our first half here tonight. 4 ties, 9 lead changes. I'm telling you, I feel like a buzzer beater's coming.
You feel it?
One possession game.
Yeah.
It's like our game last week in Birmingham with Western Kentucky and UAB.
And you know, if you're Middle Tennessee, you'll take that, because they just need to keep this game close, right? 31-31 right now. That puts this game on pace for that 60, 70-ish number. And that's right where they want to be, because they don't want to allow UAB to go up to the moon in those 80, 85 points a game.
Porter, Euro step through traffic, can't convert. And Ty Brewer, Darius Brewer has the rebound here for UAB. 35 ticks and counting, fading first half clock here from Murfreesboro tonight.
Now let's see how Ephraim Johnson handles this situation. There's about 8 seconds in differential between the shot clock and game clock. Typically you want to hold for the last possession, but with this discrepancy, they should just go for a good look whenever it presents itself.
Davis picked there for Johnson. Taven Lovin drives in but can't convert. Partially blocked again. Final moments on the big block. Comes out for Brewer up top. Missing a 3 with 5 seconds left. Out of bounds. Back to the Blue Raiders in a wild sequence with more great defense. for Middle Tennessee.
And after Ladarius Brewer attempted that shot, he immediately pointed at himself and said, "My bad," because there was no need for him to attempt that shot. They could have held for the last possession right then and there. He attempted about a 30-footer. There was no need to rush that shot. But now if you're Middle Tennessee, they have an opportunity to get themselves a good look.
Timeout. We're back in 30 seconds to see the conclusion of the first half. It's in the first half, probably. Final moments here. Porter, end-to-end, floats, can't hit, follow, Dishman after the buzzer, and that does it for the opening 20. Good first half of basketball.
Absolutely. A tie game. Couldn't ask for more here tonight in Murfreesboro. And if you're Middle Tennessee, you'll definitely take the performance your team has given you in the first half.
All tied 31-31. AT&T 5G at the half. Coming up next here on CBS Sports Network. Great action on MLK Day. Such a special day for our nation. Officials are taking a look at the video to make sure that DeAndre Dishman's follow was after the buzzer. What do you think here, after the zeros?
Yeah, well, first off, terrific job of him following up the play as we look at the clock here. Already under one. This is very tough for him to get in there and tip this bad boy. It was close. Need a slow-mo on that.
Out of his hand?
Yeah, I think we need to.
With 1:10. No basket. AT&T 5G at the half is next. Emotions overflowing in half number one. Lovin lost it, but UAB keeps it with 9 to shoot on this possession.
Yeah, and expect Eric Gaines to be very aggressive here in this second half. Only 4 points on 1 of 6 shooting from the field. No Jordan Walker tonight. It's very important that he gets himself going because he's UAB's biggest threat on the offensive end.
Double team here, good trap right in front of us. Calls it a turnover. Justin Porter pulls up from 10, cans it. Pressure pays off on the other end for Justin Porter.
Yeah, turning defense into offense. A nice pull-up jumper right there from Justin Porter. That's a good way to make your presence felt coming in the game for Cameron Weston as Taven Levon gets to the rim. And I'm going to say it again, Ronald. He is so athletic, finishing around the cup. I mean, this is a guy who deserves more time even when Jordan Walker returns to the lineup.
Top of the key for Lawrence. Second field goal of the game for Eli Lawrence. Team second leading score, about 12.5 per outing. He had 13 points in the second half against Rice, along with DeAndre Dishman's big game in Houston to beat the Owls for Middle's last game, last win. Ty Brewer to brother Ladarius.
Great
the back cut, the block! Ladarius Brewer has it swatted again. T. Leonard up high for the Blue Raiders' 9th rejection of the game tonight.
And now, see, that is great offense from UAB, just getting outdone by a terrific play and a terrific athlete in T. Leonard.
Jemison, really nice pass. Ty Brewer, other end is short. Rebound run out for Lawrence. Man, we've seen some incredible defense tonight. Leonard trails way off on a jumper from beyond the arc. Long rebound for Gaines. Surveys. Nearly had it stripped away again. Buford, good hands in transition. Nick McDevitt told us transition defense would be critical. Ty Brewer too strong. Taven Lovin up high. Can't find the rebound. Lawrence does for the Blue Raiders. Here's Justin Porter. Jets through traffic. Floats can't hit. Tip off the mark from Dishman. And a kick out from Leonard.
And now that was a really smart play by DeAndre Dishman to kick that ball out and allow his team to reset the offense.
Porter floats and hits from 10.
Winning basketball play. It all started with DeAndre Dishman allowing his team to run a good set because he could have went up on Trey Jamison right there and probably got his shot blocked, but he reset the offense, and that allowed Justin Porter to take a nice little mid-range floater. Winning plays made by the 7th-year veteran, DeAndre Dishman.
Trey Jamison, the deep touch here, right of the paint. On Dishman, drives in, looking for the N1 contact from the team captain, DeAndre Dishman. Eastern Kentucky transfer, senior Lexington, Kentucky.
And there's not much that DeAndre Dishman can do in that situation, right? He can front to try to deny Trey Jamison from getting the ball, or they can send a double team to help DeAndre Dishman, because once Trey Jamison receives the ball, he's given up too much size and height to stop him from getting anywhere that Trey Jameson wants to get around the rim.
2 fouls on Dishman. 1 more free throw here for Jemison. So here's the timeline, partner. Eastern Kentucky. He told us yesterday the preseason trip in the offseason to Costa Rica for his team on a slippery floor, tore his ACL, was out 2 years, including a redshirt year, 1,000+ days between games. And he said, look, it made me a stronger person, made me a different player, though, because now I'm not a high flyer like I was before.
And as a player, the mental challenge of coming back from injuries is daunting, right? As much as the physical, you got to get your mind back right to feeling like, as we see T. Leonard go up and finish one.
Up and away with a hammer. Tiafiel Leonard flying for a slam for middle. Oh, bam!
Goodness, Rhino.
Elevation.
Came down from the ceiling, came down from the rafters. Then he decided to punch one through.
Taven Lovin looking for the end one. He's fouled on the way to the basket. Going to be on Trayvon
what a
Smith.
play. And T. Leonard goes up, slaps 5 with the fans in the top row. Then he throws one down. Whew, and listen, business decisions made by Eric Gaines under the rim, moves out of the way. I don't blame him. No need to get in there on that poster. Get out the way when T. Leonard's coming through. Hey.
That's a good one.
There was nothing he could do about that.
Business decision. I'm writing these down, partner.
I'm telling you.
2 fouls for Gaines. Doesn't want to risk his third.
Once the plane takes off, there's no stopping it.
Get out of the way. Lovin 1 more free throw here for UAB. In his 143rd all-time game. That's number 1 in UAB history. Leonard, man, what a high-flying leaper. This guy is preseason Conference USA pick for good reason. 6'7" sophomore, Snyder, Texas. Lovin way short, front iron. Miss on the second free throw, but Tony has the rebound for UAB. Fresh 20. It's a big offensive board. Jemison, power for 2. Man, is he strong.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee is going to have to send a double team to get the ball out of Trey Jemison's hands, because at halftime, Coach Anthony Kennedy told his team, we need to feed the big fella. They can't do anything with him inside. Get my man Trey Jemison the ball.
10.6 boards for Jemison. Double-double waiting to happen. I'm going to predict a double-double from him.
Yeah, well,
is that fair?
Well,
he's already got 10
you
points.
You take safe bets. You take only safe bets.
Pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Dishman the kick out. Here's Lawrence. Front iron miss. Dishman tipped it up high. Lawrence grabs it. And a fresh 20 here for Middle Tennessee. In the corner, Leonard for 3. Ninth 3-ball of the year for T. Leonard. That's not his game usually, but corner pocket, he's got that one.
It's amazing, Rhino, how when you block shots, you get a strong finish at the rim, you feel so much more confident about that 3-ball. UAB needs to be on alert for T. Leonard as Trey
Jemison. Up and away is Jemison for the hammer.
Man.
Dunks on both ends here as the big guy up to 12 points with a 2-handed flush. Wow.
Got ourselves a good one, don't we?
We're seeing some rim rocking tonight, partner. This is fun. This is fun. Lawrence short. Tip. Leonard trying to punch that home. Can't find it. Gaines loose. Had it stripped in transition. We all need a break. We all need to catch our breath here at the Murphy Center in year 50. Creating some more history tonight, BJ.
I'm telling you, man, T. Leonard takes off for the hammer. Coming down from the ceiling. And then he knocks down the 3-ball because he says, I'm feeling good about my game. Let me put one in the rim. But Trey Jemison, man, he said, you know what? I'm the big fella. I'm going to take over Murfreesboro. Hammer.
Well, BJ, T. Leonard is only a sophomore, already 5th all-time Middle Tennessee history in block shots. 4 of the team's 9 rejections tonight. This guy is a high flyer who can do it all.
Remarkable. It goes without saying what level of athlete he is, but he also has tremendous timing, and then there's nothing that you can do about this when he decides to go up. But I tell you what, I know Coach McDevitt loves it when his great, terrific, outstanding athlete gets it going from behind the 3-point line. You see him here with 7 points already tonight. But the 4 blocks as a guard. I mean, this is a wing player, Rhino. We're not talking about a center or a big power forward. This is a guard that blocks shots like a big.
Inbounds play, 2 points, UAB, perfectly run. The career high, by the way, for T. Leonard in block shots against Belmont this year had 6 in a game.
It's amazing.
He's going to break that tonight, right?
That's amazing.
It's going to happen. Back and forth game tonight. Conference USA been fun to watch. 9 lead changes. 5 ties so far. Eli Lawrence, some contact and a foul call. Looks like KJ Buffett. He's got 4 fouls.
It's huge. Because that's one of, outside of Trey Jemison, that is UAB's second best offensive rebounder. And they have been getting destroyed tonight on the offensive glass. So now they've got to figure out a way to deal with the big fella in the middle of your screen, number 55. He's right there in the middle of at the free throw line. They've got to deal with him on the offensive end.
Gains, good anticipation. Shut down the passing lane, has the steal for Taven Lovin, who regathers but can't score. Tip not there. Tries again with the left. Third try successful for Lovin.
Yeah, and he really does a good job of finishing around the rim, Rhino. Not an overly heavy guy, no more than about 190 pounds, but he's very wiry, strong calves, strong upper body, finishes well around the rim. Around the rim with that strength.
Leonard passing, Dishman up high for the hammer. DeAndre Dishman. First field goal of the game for the 7th-year player for Middle Tennessee.
And you know, Ronald, we spoke earlier about him returning from injury, wanting to see if he still has the athleticism. Looked pretty good right there, didn't it?
Did he ever? What a game tonight. Ephraim Johnson stepped back, contested, some contact with Millen ahead of the pack. Here's Millen for 2. Tyler Millen's first field goal of the game tonight as well. Millen and Dishman in the scorebook from the field tonight.
And if you're Coach McDevitt, that is exactly what you want. You want your team to turn poor UAB shots into easy offense on the other end. That is exactly what they did. Terrific offense right there for Middle Tennessee as they have another chance to get out and run.
Here's Millen again, ahead of the pack. 2 more. Back-to-back layups. Andy Kennedy's seen enough. Timeout, UAB. 6-0 Blue Raider run. Hit their last 3 shots, all layups. And they are rolling here tonight in Murfreesboro.
And you love to see it. Middle Tennessee turning defense into offense here in Murfreesboro.
George Walker, 23.8 points a game, number 2 in the nation in scoring. Second straight game, he's out for UAB. And you and I called the Western Kentucky game last week at Bartow Arena. This is where he got hurt. About 6:50 to go, second half. Luke Frampton of Western Kentucky contests the layup, and Jelly got hurt.
Yeah, you saw him just take a bad step there as he was out in transition going against Luke Frampton. And he said, hey, man, I talked to him before the game, and he mentioned, you know, it was one of his metatarsals, mentioned how excited he was to play in this game, having scored 40-plus points both times last season. So you hope that the young man gets healthy, gets back on the floor, because as all Conference USA fans know, he's not one of the most exceptional guards in this league. He's one of the most exceptional guards in this country.
MRI negative, X-rays negative, so no fracture. That's the good news. Sprained left foot is what they're saying, and Jelly told us he hopes to be back as soon as possible. That could be as early as this weekend, but not available for a second straight game. Ladarius Brewer the miss in the baseline. Here comes middle again, led by Justin Porter. Had it stripped, taken away by Brewer. Gains on a bounce for Taven Lovin. Watched by Dishman. The back end, the foul. Taven Lovin's playing well.
Yeah, and that
bigger
works.
role now.
Absolutely, and that works. A little untraditional right there. He's kind of a different player, right? He's the size of a guard. You look at him, only 6'4", but he uses his body around the rim with these creative finishes right there. He got into the body of Elias King, forcing his 3rd foul. So Taven Lovin figuring out a way to be effective on the offensive end.
Started Saturday in Ruston against Louisiana Tech. 11 points on 5 of 10 shooting. Second double-figure game in his second start of the year. With Walker out, one more free throw here for Taven Lovin, a senior from Franklin, Kentucky, 5th-year UAB player. Dishman is out, having picked up his 3rd foul. Everyone's got to step up. It's a different UAB team without the nation's second leading scorer. It's got to be, right?
Oh, without question. You know, it allows guys opportunities who maybe felt like, hey, I have certain things I can do on the offensive end that I haven't been able to show yet. Well, I tell you what, Coach Andy Kennedy isn't going to tell you not to show it tonight. You're going to need it.
Taven Lovin, second straight game, 11 points.
Yep.
A much bigger role now.
And now you want to see, excuse me, Ronald, you'd like to see Middle Tennessee be very sharp with every possession from here on out. You don't want loose turnovers or careless passes. You want to make sure every possession counts, as they attempt a three-pointer right there. But you just want good looks, good possessions.
Tyler Millen, a long-range miss on the pass from King. Was that a good look?
You know what? You don't want to settle for the three. You want to see them get downhill. That's where they had their most success, getting downhill.
Lovin with a cut. A lot of contact, no whistle, it's out of bounds. Hanging, tough shot, Taven Lovin. UAB keeps it here. We've got a timeout. Middle Tennessee in a battle for head coach Nick McDevitt in his 5th year. Head-to-head with the Blazers. Good with it on CBS Sports Network.
We're more than just athletes, because as soon as I take this jersey off, you don't know that I'm on the UCLA women's basketball team. We have people who look up to us. So for us to be able to share our voices, share our experiences, it's just so powerful. And to the athletes, if people are telling you not to speak up, do it anyways. It's super important for you to share your experiences and use your voice.
CBS Sports Network, living the dream and honoring the memory, the legacy, the impact of Dr. King. It'll live on forever.
Absolutely, Ronald. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King's one of his most remarkable quotes is, "It's never too late to do what's right," right? And that's something that all of us in this country, no matter how old we are, what age, young, old, any race, color, we can all live by that.
Well said, BJ, well said. Contact, but no foul. Blocked out of bounds. 18 to shoot here for UAB. Tony and the inbounds for Gaines. Without the reigning Conference USA Player of the Year, tourney MVP, preseason Player of the Year, Jordan Walker. Out again. Can UAB overcome it for a second straight game after beating Louisiana Tech Saturday in Ruston?
Yeah, right. You know, big picture, Ronald, this is right where Middle Tennessee wants the game to be. A 48-44 grinded out battle. Looks like this game won't go much over 70 points. This is what you want if you're Coach McDevitt's squad.
Leonard to the basket, can't get a roll. Coleman Jones and Millen looking for a follow dunk. Taken away, UAB. Gaines through traffic, a lot of contact. And hits the base of the basket hard. Crumpled up there. We hope he's okay.
I believe he hit his head as he came down hard on the floor. Right there, we see a guy like him who's such an athlete, goes up high, but hits his head there on the stanchion as Jared Coleman Jones followed up, attempting to make a play on the ball.
4th foul, BJ, on Cameron Weston. Foul trouble becoming a story here. 4 for him. KJ Buffin has 4 for UAB. Here's Eric Gaines, sophomore, preseason All-Conference USA pick, the LSU transfer. High-flying, tremendous athlete for UAB. We sat down with him last week in Birmingham, and he said, look, the LSU experience was good. Coaching changed there. Matt McMahon takes over after leaving Murray State. He likes to fit at UAB.
Yeah.
But it's not easy with Jordan Walker having 2 stars in one backcourt.
It's not, because both of those guys play the same position, right? So they really have to figure out a way to make both of them effective without almost stepping on each other's toes, right? It's a very unique dynamic when you have 2 scoring guards like they are. But on a night like tonight, where you don't have a Jordan Walker in the game, Eric Gaines has had his opportunity to really show what he's capable of doing. So he needs to make the most of it.
8 points, 2 of 7 shooting. Does have 6 rebounds tonight for the Blazers. We'll fall back in a zone here. Like that move?
You know what? I'll take the switch up, because I think what Coach Andy Kennedy is seeing, this game isn't going to become up-tempo, as we see a foul right there on the big fella, Javion Davis, or maybe Eric Gaines. Eric Gaines. Eric Gaines picks up his 3rd foul. But to continue what I was saying, I like the zone, because I think he's seeing that this game isn't going to get up and down. They're trying to push the tempo. They're trying to get out and run, but they might have to win a different way than they usually do tonight, and the zone slows down the tempo.
Tough inbounds pass. Justin Porter and a bump call. Gaines picks up another. That's 4. Back-to-back fouls on the UAB star guard Eric Gaines.
Yeah.
Star guard Eric Gaines.
Yeah. There's no other way to slice it. You just can't do that. When you're a player of his caliber, you're the best player that UAB has now as we see him reach it. So you can't make that play. You can't leave it up to the official with that much contact. You really just got to let that pass get through and then guard the man once he receives the ball because you're too valuable for this UAB team to be sitting on the bench.
So much of the game left here, about 10:50 when he commits the fourth foul to the bench for now. Here's Leonard. The high flyer drives in for two. Over Ty Brewer, nice move.
And we've seen so much emotion, passion, grit tonight from this Middle Tennessee team. They really want this one. You can tell. They want to get this one. It's been a while since they beat UAB, and they're really trying to take this one from Coach Andy Kennedy's ball club.
Jemison up high for a tip-in on a wild-looking shot there from Tony. Cleaned up by Trey Jemison.
And they haven't been able to do anything with him tonight. I mean, I think, quite frankly, this Middle Tennessee team has done a good job on pretty much everyone else tonight, except for Trey Jemison. He has done everything he wanted to, or everything he wants to do out there on the floor tonight.
UAB won for its last 7. Coleman Jones floats way off with a righty runner in the paint. Tony has the rebound. Only double-figure score for UAB is Trey Jemison. He and Taven Lovin now both in doubles. 14 and 7 for Jemison tonight.
And they're going to feed him. They're going to give the ball to the big fella. They're going to cut. They're going to play off of him. But see him, he's patient right now. He's taking his time. He likes the matchup.
The back end with the left is short. Front iron miss. Ephraim Johnson kept it alive initially. Here comes Millen. Rebound, run out, Euro step off the glass with the left. Tyler Millen. That was pretty for Middle Tennessee.
Really nice right there, Ronald, with the lefty dipsy-do. Finishes higher with the English off the glass. It's a terrific finish.
He's got the length,
Tyler
doesn't
Millen.
he?
Oh,
6'7" from Calera, Alabama. Wow. Overplay Millen, near steal. Darius Brewer. Pressure defense, good rotation again for Middle Tennessee. They're so active.
Got Jemison
in the half-court defense. Back in for the big guy again. Can't get a roll, but Tony, up and away, hammer follow. Timeout called Andy Kennedy of UAB after Tony. High wire act. Up and away. Not just the big man, BJ, who get up high here.
I'm telling you, Tony said, I'll get in on this act. I'm a high wire player too.
Wow.
Up high tonight. Well, let me show you guys my vert. But if you pay attention to that play, Ronald, early, Trey Jemison has opportunities to get closer to the rim. He's settling for these deep 8 or 9 foot hooks. He's playing right in the Middle Tennessee's hands. He needs to use that 6'11", 260-pound frame and put his defender in the rim with very close shots near the bucket.
5 to shoot, Dishman, the end one. DeAndre Dishman gets a foul on Jemison that time, who picks up his second. And Dishman, they call him Uncle Dish here in Murfreesboro, the 7th-year player for Middle Tennessee, chance for the three-point play.
Yeah, you know, you call him Uncle Dish because he's that 7th-year veteran, but he kind of has it, that old-school YMCA, double knee brace game. You know, it's not overly fast, it's not overly athletic, but he just figures out a way to put the ball in the basket, and that's why he leads Conference USA in field goal percentage.
He told us yesterday, before the injury in Costa Rica and that foreign tour trip, his vert leap was way up there, 40-plus inches. He was a high flyer like T. Leonard is.
Absolutely.
Different game now after the severe knee injury. Johnson, nice take for 2 for UAB. Good response.
Yeah, really nice finish in the paint. I believe he got away with a walk there. Might have shuffled the puppies, but terrific concentration to finish with the left around the rim.
First points of the game for Ephraim Johnson. Came at a good time for UAB. Steal. Johnson, the freshman, drives in, hangs, guess what? Leonard another block. He's got 5 swats tonight. Incredible. Rebound loose. Ty Brewer can't convert. Portis up and away. Doesn't hit the jam. But a whistle on the baseline. Whoa. Justin Porter tried for a slam in transition.
Well, I'm telling you, Rondo, we have seen some athletic plays. These guys are high flyers getting up at the rim. Boy, I tell you. And then we see Justin Porter, let me get one.
We're back with more men's hardwood action. Davidson faces off against Dayton in the A-10, followed by a tip-off in the Missouri Valley between Belmont, head-to-head with Murray State. You and I will be there, BJ, right down the road in Nashville. Watch it all here on CBS Sports Network. Former Ohio Valley Conference rivals, now in the Missouri Valley. Going to be a fun game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to an exciting matchup tomorrow night between Belmont and Murray State. We see Belmont here currently at second in the Missouri Valley, but we know Murray State's history and the basketball tradition that they possess. You think about the Isaiah Cannons of the world, the John Morants of the world, the Cameron Paynes of the world. And no, I'm not naming an NBA backcourt. I'm naming guys that have played for this Murray State program. So we're in for a good one tomorrow night.
Can't wait. Had a good Zoom today with Steve Prohm, the head coach of Murray State. Exciting matchup on the way. Exciting finish here tonight with Andy Kennedy's Blazers head-to-head with Middle Tennessee. Lawrence baseline. Back iron miss. Johnson goes for the free throw line rebound. Recovered there by Taven Lovin, but he lost it. Has turned over. 9 turnovers, UAB, 11 tonight for Middle.
And those are the kind of plays, Ronald, right? They seem innocuous. They seem like they don't really matter that much. But in a tight ball game like this, as you come down the stretch, and it looks like this one's going to come down to the wire, those little plays make all the difference in who wins or loses in college basketball.
Middle Tennessee, 10 blocks tonight. Their season best, 13 in a game against Belmont. We'll see the Bruins, as you talked about, against the Racers tomorrow night. There's Dishman. Reverse layup for 2. Uses the rim to protect him as a way to the basket around Jemison.
And that's another crafty finish, right? All the young players watching at home, all our kids, 12 and under, terrific job of using the rim to avoid the shot blocker.
How about Taven Lovin? Chance for the and one. Speaking of using the rim and the English for UAB, chance for a three-point play.
And he's been really special tonight. But DeAndre Dishman flipping it up over Trey Jemison. And then on the other end, Taven Levon says, okay, I'll go with the dipsy-do, flip it up off the backboard. And you know what's great about both of those plays? You had Trey Jemison attempting to block a shot on one end. Terrific finish by DeAndre Dishman. And then right there, we saw Taven Levon attack T. Leonard with his 5 blocks tonight. You love when players start to figure out how to finish around shot blockers, right? You know, me being an offensive player, I love to see offense come out on top.
I know you do. I know you do.
We're seeing it now.
Lovin does have the miss on the free throw. Leonard does have 3 fouls, 3 rebounds after that board a moment ago. Dishman again, with Jemison watching him. Lawrence, trouble with the handle. 8 to shoot. Dishman too far for the basket. 5 on the timer. DeAndre Dishman, pump fake blocks. Jemison read that all the way. Taven Lovin running again. No finish on the coast-to-coast try. Back and forth we go here. Buford thinking 3. He's got it. Timeout call. Second 3, Justin Buford. Sophomore, Selma, Alabama. We're back in 30 seconds to the Murphy Center.
Ever wonder why they call it the American dream and not the American goal or plan? Maybe it's because in dreams, you can do anything. In dreams, you can hold your entire world in the palm of your hand and turn time inside out again and again. And you can do it all with your eyes wide open.
Year 50 for the Murphy Center. They call it the Glass House in Murfreesboro. And this building has, BJ, amazing history. Elvis Presley played here 5 times. Okay. Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Dolly Parton, John Denver, Kenny Rogers, Barry Manilow, Olivia Newton-John, Rod Stewart, all played here. We've had WWE wrestling.
Wow.
Amazing history in this building. 1979 opening round NCAA tournament. Who was here? Magic Johnson, Michigan State, en route to the national championship.
I think his career turned out all right, didn't it?
Just okay. Gaines, front iron miss. Look out, Brewer. Ty Brewer up and away on the follow jam. Another rim rocker tonight here in Murfreesboro.
And I'm not sure on what the dunk count is at right now, Rondo, but we have to be approaching
We're way
10
up
plus,
there.
right?
Oh, easily double-figure dunks.
I mean, and Ty Brewer goes and just moves T. Leonard out the way and goes up top. Oh, Verdon throws one down. We have seen some athletic plays here tonight, partner, I tell you.
We're seeing more history, right, in this
man.
historic building. Tennessee High School State Championships held here every year. It's really cool. Whistle stops play, and look out, Ty Brewer's really upset with that call. Already, UAB's been teed up twice tonight.
Can't afford a third. You cannot afford a third. This game is too close. These possessions mean too much. It is too late in this game to be giving away free throws to your opponent.
Emotions running high. We've had 11 lead changes, 5 ties in our one possession tilt here in Conference USA. Fun one to watch. We thought it would be.
Absolutely. It's delivered and more.
Leonard lost it. Lawrence regains, stays in bounds. Tightrope act. Corner 3. Eli Lawrence, not this time. Another rebound for Jemison. He's got 9 boards in the game. Nearing that double-double we promised you. Ty Brewer spins. Can't hit off the glass. Pretty move, but no finish.
Yep. That's what we call a $100 move and a $1 finish.
Got another good one. Leonard too strong. Dishman battles. Looking for the loose change. So is Buford. Dishman lost the headband. I mean, DeAndre Dishman, the sellout for Middle Tennessee tonight, shoots 2.
Yeah, DeAndre Dishman is leaving it all out there on the floor tonight. He hasn't had one of his best scoring games, but dealing with this guy that's defending him, Trey Jemison, all night, is more than enough to get you a good night's sleep, partner. I tell you, I promise you, he'll spend a lot of time in the cold tub. He'll spend a lot of time mentally recouping after this one.
What a game.
He'll check the schedule and see if they have UAB again anytime soon.
DeAndre misses the first free throw. 3rd foul on Jemison here tonight. Justin Porter returns for Middle Tennessee.
Because, boy, that fella right there, man, he's a lot to deal with. He is a lot. We had him, Western Kentucky, against Jamarion Sharp, the 7'5" big fella for Western Kentucky. We thought Jamarion Sharp might come out and have a big game, and Trey Jemison was the star down low between those two guys. So Trey Jemison has a bright future ahead of him, that's for certain.
9.7 boards in the game for Dishman. Gaines baseline's blocked again. Guess what? Buford this time with a rejection. 11 blocks tonight for Middle Tennessee. Buford. Gaines fell. Buford drives. Can't finish. Jemison a rebound. A double-double again for Trey Jemison. Tony to the basket. No finish again. Buffin trying for the offensive glass, and it's out of bounds.
Now, that's the pace you want there if you're UAB. You want to try to get this thing up and down, even though it's late. Try to get out and run, but give a lot of credit to Coach McDevitt's squad and his staff today. You know, they mentioned over and over again during the scout how they needed to get back in defensive transition. They needed to stop the ball and limit the effectiveness of UAB in the open court. And they've done a pretty good job of that so far.
What an effort there for Leonard on the inbounds pass. Now we've got a timeout on MLK Day, honoring the great Martin Luther King. 4-point Middle Tennessee lead.
Civil rights champion Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With his work, he inspired hope and change, influencing sports stars of the past and the present to join the movement for social justice.
BJ, after the UAB practice yesterday, Trey Jemison said, look, without Jordan Walker, we don't all have to go Superman. We don't have to be great, not individually. As a team, we do. I'd say Trey's been pretty darn good tonight.
Yeah, no, Trey Jemison has continued his stellar play, but not to be outdone by T. Leonard with 5 blocks on the night. And for those of you who can't tell, we're not talking about a center. We're talking about a guard player with 5 blocks.
Our AT&T 5G game summary, 10 blocks, amazing for Middle Tennessee tonight, and a double-double for Jemison.
Yeah, Trey Jemison continuing his stellar play. That's his 3rd double-double in his last 3 games. He's really stepped it up in Jordan Walker's absence.
I'd say he's going Superman tonight, right? That's pretty super if you...
Yeah, he's going Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
You name a superhero, he's doing it.
I think he's going Hulk. That's what I'm going for.
He is decent. Jacked. 8 to shoot here. Gaines up top, 5 on the timer. LSU transfer Eric Gaines way off on the floater. Long rebound. Who's got it? Leonard lost it in transition, thinking about another big dunk for Middle Tennessee. It's out of bounds. Blue Raiders coming off a 3-point win against Rice. UAB won on the road by 7 in Ruston Saturday over Louisiana Tech. We just knew this was going to be a barn burner type game.
Yep.
Dishman.
And now Dishman needs to attack, Rhino. He needs to be aggressive right here, but tremendous defense by Trey Jemison, just not giving him an angle to score around the rim.
9 to shoot for Lawrence. Hits. Eli Lawrence for 2.
And Eli Lawrence has a very pretty jump shot when he gets down into that mid-range area. Really nice controlled play from Eli Lawrence.
10 for Lawrence. First Blue Raider in double figures here tonight. Tony toward the basket through traffic and a foul, some contact. Aggressive drives to the basket tonight we've seen from the UAB guards.
Absolutely. We've seen Taven Levine do it numerous times as Tony's shaky to get up, but he was like a bullet train to the rim right here, Rhino, as he attacks the cup. 4 fouls now on DeAndre Dishman, which is huge for Middle Tennessee, because not only is he their leading scorer, as we know, but he's been Trey Jemison's primary defender for most of the night. They're going to have to turn to Jared Coleman-Jones in the...
12 made free throws tonight for UAB, 11 for Middle. You see bottom of your screen the foul trouble with a lot of time left on the clock in this Conference USA thriller tonight.
And UAB came out in their 1-3-1. They want to change things up there on UAB, and they did that. They were able to run about 12 seconds there off the shot clock. Now, expect UAB to play their traditional man-to-man right here for the last remainder of the shot clock with 18 on it.
2:45 and counting, no field goals UAB. Under 3 in regulation. Weston, one more for Leonard. Passing down low, Dishman. Foul. Ty Brewer, the challenge, commits the foul. And DeAndre Dishman shoots 2 here for Middle Tennessee.
And just a defensive breakdown right there from UAB. They left DeAndre Dishman wide open here under the rim. As you see the nice no-look pass there by T. Leonard. But nobody had DeAndre Dishman under the rim. We see Trey Jemison step over to guard T. Leonard. You need Ty Brewer to rotate down there. But if you're Middle Tennessee, got to capitalize at the free throw line. As we see, DeAndre Dishman missed the first one.
50% free throw shooter entering play tonight. It's 1. Double figures for Dishman. He told us yesterday how important this game would be for he and his Blue Raiders. The heartbreak of last year's run to the CBI Finals, but they lost in the Conference USA semis to UAB in triple overtime. They want revenge tonight.
They do, and this is winning time. They need to lock in, they need to communicate, they need to get together and connected as they allow KJ Buffin to slide right through for the easy finish at the rim. That was not together and connected. That was not what you were looking for if you were Coach McDevitt's squad. So they need a good possession here on offense to turn the tide back in their direction.
Big bucket for Buffin. Under 2 in regulation. T. Leonard lost it. Tony has it. In transition, looks for help. Buffin trails. 3 on the way. Got it! KJ Buffin. A huge triple for UAB. His second of the game. And 5th of the season from beyond the arc. Timeout, Nick McDevitt at Middle Tennessee. We'll take a 30-second timeout. 1-point game. UAB back in it thanks to KJ Buffin. VJ, huge role. KJ Buffin late. The Ole Miss transfer has really come through here for the Blazers.
Yeah, he has. And KJ Buffin is a senior player for Coach Andy Kennedy's squad. And this is what he's known for, being a finisher around the rim. But right here, he shows a little range. Steps out, knocks down the 3-ball, which cuts this to a 1-point game. And now if you're UAB, they're going to come out in their 1-3-1, looking to challenge Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee needs to attack the middle, attack the corners with the horizontal pass. But if you're UAB, we'll take it if you're Middle Tennessee.
Eli Lawrence free for 3 and knocks it down. Huge triple for the Blue Raiders.
And that is exactly the shot that Coach Andy Kennedy was trying to force, but just an even better offensive play right there by Eli Lawrence, knocking down the contested triple.
Buffin drives, looking for more offense. Blocked this time, Buford, who's out of bounds as he makes the rejection, and he's shaken up for Middle Tennessee.
There has been no lack of physicality today, Ronald. I mean, we have seen a battle inside, and these players have played through contact, through bumps, cuts, bruises. KJ Buffin attacks, and see, that's just an after play as he kind of rolls up on Justin Buford's leg there as he goes up for the finish, and that's never uncomfortable because it's almost an hyperextension right there of the knee, so you hope that he's all right. But moving forward, if you're Middle Tennessee, you're up 4. You want to make UAB attempt a tough 2, right? Attempt a tough 2. What is that? You don't want to give up anything at the rim, and you don't want to allow an open 3. You want them to shoot a shot that's in that 12 to 17-foot range. And then if you're UAB, look to either feed Trey Jemison or utilize Eric Gaines.
Buford gets some treatment for the trainer. Looks okay.
Yeah.
After being checked out, that's good news. Tyler Millen comes in for him. Knocked out of bounds, inbounds play with 1:01 to go in regulation.
And I love that right there by Middle Tennessee. Don't allow Trey Jemison to catch that ball right there, right? If you're Cameron Weston, you're guarding the inbounder, as we see, make it hard on the inbounder to inbound the ball.
Gaines thought about a 3. Final minute of regulation. Pulls up, passing. High-low, Jemison. Blocked again. Leonard. What a foul called on T. Leonard, who cannot believe it. He reacts with incredulity on the block.
I tell you what, and he comes over to get one, and he gets him on the arm. He does. He gets him on the arm after, gets up top, gets the ball, but then he gets the elbow of Trey Jemison, picking up his 4th foul. That is a tough call, but it is the right call in this game.
Wow.
That would have been 6 blocks on the game for T. Leonard tonight. Would have been the 6th block.
Which would have been a career high.
Yes.
Jemison, big free throws here in a 2-possession game. Knocks down the first one. Coming up next, our special coverage of college hoops on MLK Day wraps up with the women's Mount West matchup. Boise State takes on UNLV. Keep it here on CBS Sports Network. Big free throw. Cans 2. Jemison comes through. He's had a big night. 16 points, 10 rebounds.
And none bigger than those 2 free throws right there, Ron. I mean, for the big fella to step up to the line late in the game, put 2 in the hoop at the line, it's impressive, man. That's really impressive.
They call him Tall T in Birmingham, Alabama for good reason. Hometown guy. Want to be closer to home, he told us yesterday. Timeout, Nick McDevitt. Trey Jemison's house, where he grew up about 4 minutes from the UAB campus. So get some good home cooking from mom and get your laundry done, you know.
Absolutely.
A lot of advantages.
No question.
Trey Jemison, timeout here in Murfreesboro. Two-point game here for those of you tuning in for the Boise State UNLV women's game. You'll be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. As soon as it tips off, and of course we'll get you there immediately after the conclusion of this game in Murfreesboro. You have a play in mind here for the Blue Raiders. 9 to shoot on the timer, BJ.
Yeah, so with 9 on the clock, they still have time to run a good set. I would look for them to go to Eli Lawrence right here. He's kind of had it going, made that nice mid-range jumper. So look for them to use Eli Lawrence because I don't like the matchup of throwing the ball down to DeAndre Dishman going one-on-one against Jemison.
It's Weston to the basket, hangs off the glass, can't hit. Big loose rebound, Jemison pulls down another board. His 11th of the game for UAB. 20 seconds regulation. Andy Kennedy wants to talk things over. Down 2.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that, Ronald, right? You come down, you see if you've got an opportunity to score quick. If you don't score quick, that's when Coach Andy Kennedy's going to insert himself and call a timeout. Now, moving forward, both of these teams are out of timeouts, right? So if no matter what happens down here, if it's a make, miss, there's no timeouts. So in the scenario that UAB scores here, ties the game, or takes the lead, Middle Tennessee's going to have to push and run whatever quick basket set that they have up their sleeve with limited time on the clock.
Game reset, possession arrow to UAB. Big key there, no timeouts left. This one's going to play out here tonight in Murfreesboro.
And one thing to watch for, if it's a tie game, all right, if UAB puts in a 2 right here, Middle Tennessee and UAB are both in the bonus. So Middle Tennessee doesn't necessarily have to score. They can just force a foul, okay? I'll take you back. I had a game my sophomore year against Illinois State, right? NIT Elite 8 game. Tie ball game. We run a play to give me the ball in bounds. I drive the ball. I don't make the bucket. Foul. Get 2 free throws, we win the game.
Boise State UNLV women's game is underway now, available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this game is over here at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What a finish tonight in Conference USA. 18.5 on the clock. 2-point game, no timeouts.
So Eric Gaines is going to receive the ball right here and look for him to get it back.
Buffin, Gaines for 3 in the lead. Rattles out, rebound loose. Jemison the battle. Sideline. It goes the other way to Middle Tennessee. What an effort, Trey Jemison. 6.4 left regulation. Foul time now for the Blazers.
And now that was the look that UAB wanted. And you see Trey Jemison on the floor right there, and that back, his numbers just touched that baseline, that out of bounds line, which is why it's now Middle Tennessee ball. And if you're UAB, you got to deny here. Full on deny. You don't want to allow this ball in bounds.
If UAB had 1 timeout left, there was a chance. Tony, the overplay, causes the turnover, and a foul is called. Tony, amazing. Steals the inbounds pass, and a foul called on Eli Lawrence in a shooting motion, and free throws on the way here for UAB. Incredible.
And this is why you full on deny, right? You allow a play like this to happen. Full on deny, don't allow anything easy, and I'll tell you why something like this happens. Middle Tennessee has no timeouts. So when they don't like what they see, they have to throw it somewhere because they can't call a timeout.
Gaines perfect to the free throw line tonight. Has 2. Hits the first. So make it a 1-point game with 4.5 to go in regulation.
And now Middle Tennessee needs to make sure they box out right here. UAB is hoping that their guy, Eric Gaines, makes this free throw, but Middle Tennessee does not want to allow a cheap one, and UAB get an offensive rebound and a putback. Make sure they box out.
Crucial second free throw, got it. 72% from the line, ties us up. 4.5 to go on the clock in the second half. Leonard the inbound. Here's Weston looking for the win for Middle Tennessee. Drives to the basket, hangs. No foul, no basket. We are going to overtime in Murfreesboro.
It was only fitting, right? It's only fitting that this one's gone to overtime. It's been such a good game. Both teams have been battling all night. It's only right. And Rhino, this is exactly what Coach McDevitt wanted. Cameron Weston getting downhill, but Trey Jamison does an excellent job of getting up, going square, hands to the ceiling, and forcing Cameron Weston into a tough finish.
It would have counted.
Absolutely.
He got it off with about 2/10 left, but Trey Jemison, fantastic defense without fouling.
Certainly.
And we're going overtime. Didn't a certain play-by-play guy predict that tonight? We might see overtime.
Well, listen, I told you that you only make safe predictions. You don't necessarily go out on a limb on any of these. We all saw it heading here, and we're all happy that we're getting more basketball here on this wonderful Martin Luther King evening.
It's awesome. As we have told you before and documented, the last time these teams met, triple overtime classic, Conference USA tournament, semifinals, and another great game between these evenly matched, really good teams in Conference USA tonight. The Boise State UNLV women's game is underway now and available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this game is over.
And I'll tell you what, Rhino, to touch on that terrific game we have coming up next, Coach Lindley LaRoque has her UNLV women's club playing some excellent ball out there in Vegas, so that should be a very exciting matchup coming up.
BJ, we've seen some high-flying action here tonight, some rim rockers at the Glass House in Murfreesboro.
Well, we've seen it all tonight. We've seen all the athleticism and the jumping that you would normally see at a track meet from the high jumpers. We've seen it on display tonight from both of these ball clubs. I mean, just some tremendous plays around the rim. I hope these guys have some left in the tank for overtime, but, you know, they might be all out of bunnies, Rhino. I don't know if they got any more bunnies left in the tank, my man.
Jemison, awesome tonight, 16 points, 11 rebounds. We'll jump it up with Dishman. First possession for Eric Gaines and UAB. Bonus buckets tonight for Murfreesboro. What a game. Gaines thought about step back. Buffin was so critical at the end of regulation. Gaines for three. Drano.
Huge shot right there from Eric Gaines, and we see him getting fired up. He might need to take over, all right, in this overtime. He's the guy. It's his team right now. No Jordan Walker, one of the leading scorers in the country. He's not here. This is Eric Gaines' team now in overtime.
Nice overplay there on the sideline. Knocks it out of bounds. 17 to shoot on this possession as overtime begins. I'd imagine, you know, BJ, from playing a high level.
Yep.
You hit those free throws, end of regulation, tie the game, you got confidence, right?
You feel good. You feel good about yourself. And we saw him showing that passion, that emotion right there after he made that shot. So he's feeling good.
Look at Gaines, great hands, makes a steal.
There you go.
To Buffin, back to Gaines. Taking the game over here for UAB.
And I like his pace right here. He's going to reset the offense. Hopefully gets a high ball screen for him to come off and make a play. See, now he needs to keep this. He needs to get it back. He needs to keep it, get it back.
Buffin, 10 of the timer.
Get it back.
Gaines. Jemison, the touch. Jemison for two. He's strong. He's just too much. He's got 18.
Yeah, and that's 18 right there for Jemison. His career high, as we know, Rhino, but 40 minutes of Trey Jemison is enough. Overtime, that might be too much.
Too much Trey Jemison?
Too much
for the opposition, it sure is.
Yeah.
Buford, ball rotation. T. Leonard drives in, almost hits. A lot of contact there with Taven Lovin on the baseline, commits the foul.
And we spoke of Trey Jemison earlier, settling for those deep hooks. Well, right here, he doesn't settle for anything but a shot right at the rim. That is where his bread is buttered. That's where his cookies are baked. That's where he needs to live, Rhino. He needs to live in the paint.
Cookies are baked. I've got to write these down. You've had like 5 great one-liners tonight.
Well, you know, Rhino, I'm working with you, man. I had to be on my A game.
Step your game up a little bit?
Yeah, I had to be on my A game.
10th career double-double. Jemison tonight's been fantastic. One more free throw here for T. Leonard. What a game. You know, he told us he transferred from Clemson, wanted to be close to his grandparents who sadly were ailing and they both passed away. He said, you know, it was the best decision I ever made. Being close to my home, as we said, about 5 minutes away in Birmingham. Got to be with his grandparents in their final days of their lives.
Yep.
And now he's close to home with his folks and friends. Just loves playing at UAB.
Yeah, it's something about being close to home, being near family, right? You're able to get that home cooked meal every now and again and just see the people that you love and care about most. And I tell you what, I'm sure his family loves the way he's playing out here tonight, making them proud.
Here's the back in again. Jump hook baseline. No roll this time. Buffin a hand on it. And a foul reached there. Almost tie up. And instead of foul call on Buffin, he's fouled out. The Boise State UNLV women's game is underway. Now available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this game is over here in Murfreesboro.
And we see an emotional KJ Buffin right here fouling out of this game.
He's played well tonight.
Yeah, he has. He really has. But that's a relief for Middle Tennessee. That's one other guy that they don't have to worry about on the offensive glass.
10 points, 5 boards. KJ Buffin was huge down the stretch of regulation, helped tie the game with back-to-back possessions, 3 and a made field goal. One more free throw here for Dishman. Way short, front iron miss. Sometimes it's so short on the miss, you might get the offensive rebound.
And that's so huge because now they're not able to set up their full court press. On makes, they're able to set up their full court diamond press, but now on a miss, they have to fall back into their man-to-man.
Gaines through traffic. Strong with the ball. Tony. 10 on the timer for Gaines. Around Lawrence. Through traffic. Hangs. Doesn't hit. Tip not there. A second try at it. Taven Love in the battle. Too far to the basket. Ty Brewer is out of bounds. What a sequence. And it's back to middle.
We had a bit of hot potato right there for a second, didn't we? Not sure who was going to come up with that basketball, but at the end of the day, it works out for Middle Tennessee. That's how you scrap. That's how you fight. Live to fight another day, as they say.
First half partner was 31-31. Second half was 35-35.
Yeah.
We told you these teams are evenly matched. Lawrence broken up. Ty Brewer. Comes to Jemison, loose change. Gaines. Floats, needs help. Nobody there. Comes to Taven Love, and that was lucky for UAB.
He's got 19 on the shot clock. He should set this up and run a nice set, and I'm glad he didn't take that early one. Gonna get a ball screen right here from Trey Jemison, looking for him to get to the basket and create.
Gaines lost it. Jemison regains 3 on the timer. Steele Dishman. Had Lawrence with him. Passing back to Weston instead. Who drives to the basket for 2. Cam Weston, the C's part. Easy bucket for middle.
Absolutely. You saw the big fella Trey Jemison was not protecting the basket. And when nobody's home, you take it to the rack.
Double figures for Weston. 3-4 now. Blue Raiders 10-plus points in this game tonight. 90 seconds, fading overtime clock. 6 to shoot here for Gaines. High post pick, Jemison. Gaines, step back. Way off. Not a good possession at all for the Blazers.
No, that's not the look Coach Andy Kennedy wanted, right? If you put yourselves in these players' shoes right now, Rhino, these are extra minutes. These guys are tired, right? Eric Gaines has played a lot of minutes tonight. Trey Jemison has played a lot of minutes tonight. On Middle Tennessee side, Eli Lawrence, DeAndre Dishman, T. Leonard. These guys are all well up over 30 minutes, so step-back threes is not what you want. And then this is where not having Jordan Walker is so crucial and so pivotal for UAB because they do not have their closer, one of the best closers in the entire country.
Official timeout. Check the scoreboard video review at the very end of that shot clock cycle a second ago. So we recap last year's amazing Conference USA semifinal in Frisco, Texas. Triple overtime the last time these teams met. Cam Weston sent the game into OT with only 2 seconds left. But Jordan Walker was amazing. They traded threes. He had 40 in the game after 42 in the regular season, head-to-head with Middle. threes back and forth, then this layup with a goaltend call. And yes, UAB would survive in triple overtime. Amazing game. 102-98. Went on to beat Louisiana Tech to go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015. He was the tournament MVP for good reason.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm sure Coach Andy Kennedy is wishing, that he had Jordan Walker to help him close out this one here tonight, because they're going to need someone. Eric Gaines, Trey Jemison, one of those two guys are going to have to step up for UAB if they want to come out of this one with a victory, as we see a careless turnover.
Clock was turned there. We saw the change from 114 to 116, and then incredible error offensively in the half court for Middle Tennessee.
Just a miscommunication. They were not together on that passing sequence.
16 turnovers. Blazers by one on the ball here in overtime. Gaines harassed by Lawrence, and a foul call.
And that's not a good play. Both teams are now in the two-shot bonus. You can't afford a foul 70 feet away from the rim, Rhino, at this juncture within the game.
2 fouls on Lawrence. Star for Nick McDevitt's team. And now 2 free throws for Gaines, who knocked down 2 with only 4.5 seconds left in regulation to tie the game and send it to OT. Perfect tonight from the line.
This is the guy you want at the line if you're UAB. Eric Gaines has a nice, calm, smooth stroke up there at the free throw line.
Comes through again.
Case in point. That's the guy they want taking those late game free throws.
1 possession game with a minute to go in OT. Perfect from the line tonight, Gaines. Amazing. Buford.
Perfect.
Dishman. Baseline. Up and away. Elevates and hammers. A big dunk for Middle Tennessee.
Outstanding set ran right there by Coach McDevitt, Rhino. Both guys went with Eli Lawrence off the screen. Left DeAndre Dishman vacant for the open dunk at the rim.
13 points for Dishman tonight. Gaines, nifty handles. Passes down low. Jimmins is blocked. Another rejection was Lawrence this time. With a huge swat back to Middle Tennessee. I mean, wild fireworks, BJ, when these teams play.
Yeah.
Incredible. Timeout, Middle Tennessee.
What a block. What a block coming from behind. Because I'm not sure about you, but that looked like Trey Jemison was going to finish that up at the rim. But Eli Lawrence said, not today. Get that up out of here. And see, this is a nice set. They were able to get DeAndre Dishman a good, strong finish up at the rim. And then on the other end, it looks like, as we look at the DeAndre Dishman finish one more time, but on the other end, this looks like a Trey Jemison finish, but Eli Lawrence comes through with another block for this Middle Tennessee ball club. And I tell you what, Ronald, I haven't seen Wings block as many shots as they have tonight in a very long time.
12 blocks for Middle in this game tonight. Entering play, they average 5 a game. More than doubling the rejection output tonight against UAB. Extraordinary.
Remarkable, because we knew UAB was going to look to attack the paint. We knew that was their game plan tonight. They wanted to get out in transition, but they wanted to dominate paint points and second chance points. Well, one way to neutralize that is to just block the shot at the rim, right? It's not a usual strategy. Allow what looks like a good attempt near the rim, and then we'll just come through and block it at the last minute. But it has worked for Middle Tennessee tonight, and they have put themselves in a position coming out of this timeout to take the lead.
22 to shoot. Middle Tennessee out of timeouts. 1 left here in OT for UAB. Let's see what Nick McDevitt has in mind. Who's going to get the rock here?
So Cameron Weston, he had the play on the last play of regulation. Cameron Weston had the ball. He also attacked the rim earlier, had a nice finish, late in the game. I like Eli Lawrence, but I would expect them to utilize Cameron Weston as being their best ball handler, giving him an opportunity to get downhill.
Handles here, Dishman. Leonard, 15 to shoot. See the game clock?
Yep.
Shot clock differential. And of overtime, 1-point game, 8 to shoot. Eli Lawrence needs help. Dishman gets it, 3 to shoot. Drives it on Jemison. A foul called on the way to the basket. Jemison's fourth foul.
Middle Tennessee did an excellent job of showing patience right here on this possession and getting the ball into their leading scorer and seventh-year veteran. And I tell you what, I know he's not a great free throw shooter on the season, but you got to feel good about your seventh-year vet at the line.
5 for 9 from the line before that. Huge free throw to tie the game again. Now the big one for the lead. Got it. Hits two. The seventh-year player from Middle Tennessee. Under 10 seconds. Gaines wants a timeout for Andy Kennedy. And he's got it. Scoreboard reads 7.1. Possible some more time gets restored. Let's see. No more timeouts left either side in a 1-point lead for the Blue Raiders.
Huge free throws by DeAndre Dishman right there.
All right, BJ, what an emotional, fantastic overtime to watch so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, it came out early looking like UAB was going to take control during those first 2 minutes of overtime, but Coach McDevitt's squad has had no quit in them as they have fought their way back into the lead here in overtime. Both teams with 10 fouls, and Coach Andy Kennedy is drawing up a set. We can see the animation on his face right there. I've been in those huddles. You are locked in on what the coach is saying, but I promise you, he's drawing up something for Eric Gaines, his best creator, to make a play in the final seconds of this ball game.
How fast do you want to attack here if you're Andy Kennedy?
No, you just need to take the best look you can. Time isn't a factor. You need to take the best look that you possibly can. If you use all the clock, great. Or if you run something right here and there's an open shot right out of the set, you take that as well.
Eric Gaines, outstanding. Second half OT, here we go. Down by 1, final seconds. It's Gaines with 3 seconds. It's Gaines for Brewer. Ty Brewer releases, top of the key. He's got it, but hang on, was it too late? It was close. Did it win the game or not for UAB? It was awfully close. Let's go to the video review to see. It looked late live. It's late, and it's going to be no good. And Middle Tennessee's going to win this wild game by 1 in overtime. Got to be out of his hand. It wasn't. It's in his hand at zeros. And that should be the game. What a finish.
And that's conference play for you, Rhino, right? That is how close these games can be. This is what they can come down to. A split second between releasing the ball and not releasing the ball.
It's no good. It's late. And that's it. Middle Tennessee, BJ survives a wild overtime game by 1. Remarkable game. Both of these teams left it all out there on the floor. You gotta feel good for Middle Tennessee and Coach McDevitt's ball club and how they competed here tonight, ending that streak against UAB as Ty Brewer almost got the shot off, but just a split second too late. Right there, you see the ball still in his hands, and that will do it here from Murfreesboro. What a finish. Brewer made it, would have won it, but it's late by a 1/10 of a second. Final 74-73, Middle wins in overtime. Coming up next, more women's college basketball. Boise State takes on UNLV. Now for BJ Taylor and the entire crew, I'm Dave Ryan saying so long from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Thanks for watching on MLK Day tonight.